Good afternoon, my fellow freedom fighters. Welcome to another great segment of walking on the Iroquois warpath. And when I'm done walking 10 miles today on, yes, I call it the warpath, I'm going to be at 8,561 miles and 5.5 years of marching for the troops and patriotism. I've become the patriot that I am, and the love of this great country that I live in, from my research. I've been an amateur historian all my life, and one day I had a dream. Yes, I had a dream, my friends. And like I said, remember, I've always been a historian. I love this country's history. It's so rich, and I mean, this is where freedom was born, right here in the United States of America. I call it the Castle Freedom. It was born right here. I had a dream I was an Indian, and it was like I was already in my 20s, I believe. Yeah, I was definitely in my 20s. It was after I was up at college, so I was about 27, 28 years old. Maybe, no, I was 25 or 26. But anyways, when I woke up, I won this. I was in a race, and I was an Indian, and I won the race, and it was so real. I could feel the people breathing on me. When I was racing with the Indians through the woods and stuff, I mean, I was getting hit and knocked down. I felt it like I was getting beat up by these, other warriors and stuff. I'm like, it was such a great dream. But I won't tell you the whole dream, because one day I'd like to put it in pictures and in a book or something. But so when I woke up, I said, I'm going to write about that. Yeah, I'm like, wait a second. Of all the history that I know, I don't know much about Indians. Let me start by, I talked to you guys about how I was one of those guys that studied sports. I could tell you who was going to win, who the Steelers were going to draft, who the Pirates were going to pick up, who was going to win that game. I'm such a great researcher. And that's why I'm the great informer that I am now. My website is basically, I call it the Ben Franklin Printing Press. But anyways, so I said, let me start by researching the Indians around here where I live. And when I discovered the Indians that lived around here, I was fascinated. More than fascinated. I was hooked. I call the Iroquois the Five Nations. They became the Six Nations after they added the Tuscarora Indians. But I compare them to the Roman Empire, and they were just unbelievable. And there was a great war, a civil war between the Indian tribes of this land because of France and England. It was called the Beaver Wars. And I did two videos about the Beaver Wars, so we'll leave it at that. But the name of this video is for your further research, because I want you to look into this subject, because it's very important. Because Ben Franklin called the Iroquois our backwoods experiment. They had their own constitution. Yes, my friends, our founding fathers used the ideas of the Iroquois, because when Ben Franklin made that cartoon of the snake separated into different, he made all the they weren't states, they were colonies at the time. He was trying to show them that they needed to be united like the Iroquois, because they were divided. And it was the Iroquois, like I said, and thanks to Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and a lot of our early great founding fathers, they preserved the history of these great people. So there's a book out there I want you guys to check out. I haven't checked out the book, but I've read a lot about it online. I'm going to look for a video book online, so don't worry. When I put this video up, I'm going to connect it to a blog. So whatever the first, as always, when you find my videos, there's going to be the first link you go to at the bottom of the video will be a link to a Native American subject. I'm going to look for this book online and or a video. It's called The Forgotten Founders, and I'm going to call this the Iroquois, America's Forgotten Founders, but I'm basing it on this guy's book called The Forgotten Founders, and the name of the book and the author of the book is Bruce E. Johansson, and he was an investigative reporter for a newspaper when a Native American Indian woman told him that if it wasn't for the Iroquois, America would never become a country. And he asked her, "How did you know?" And she said, "My grandmother told me." And like our historians, our newspaper people can't go with the story because of hearsay, but that's how the Indians, that was the Indians' newspapers. They passed stories down from grandparent to grandparent, and but you know, so she said, "Well, you're the investigative reporter, you look it up." So like me, if it wasn't for the Iroquois, they're such an interesting people. And like I'll end it with this. In conversations, the French they called them the Iroquois because when they were done talking, they'd say Iroquois, and that's when that means I have spoken. And then the other Iroquois would pick up the conversation, and then they'd say Iroquois, and that's when the other Iroquois knew that it was their turn to talk. And they were great speakers, and you're going to find this amazing, that one of the greatest speakers of the last century in our history had Iroquois blood. It was Winston Churchill, his grandmother. Maybe it was his mother. I can't remember right now, since I'm way off the subject and so interested in finding out the truth about what's going on with these assholes that run the world. I don't have enough time to study my Native American research like I used to. But anyways, go check it out. Like I said, there's a video at the bottom of this. I'm not going to delete this. This is going to be like the third time I've made this video. But if you guys are wondering why all my videos don't go up, it's because I have to delete videos to make room for new videos. So I have to pick out the best ones I do out on the road. And if they make if I wish I had all the videos back that I had to cut on the cutting room floor to make room for the new ones, but that's show business. I'll see you guys in the next video on Iroquois.